TJ, what is on your head?
Well, thank you for those presumably excellent accolades that I can't hear very well because of my bubble. So this is the future, guys. This is the future of personal distance and social distancing here. I can move all around. I have a personal ventilation machine that's got my personal built-in exhaust. And I can't really hear much of anything, so I'm going to go ahead and take it off. There we go. Turn off. Rearrange my hat.
Oh my freaking God. Okay, you're here.
Put on my haha.
You're here. You've landed. The astronaut has arrived.
There we go.
From outer space.
What is the
Russian
story?
astronaut.
What is the story there? What
Tell
is that?
us about this tech that you have brought with you.
All right.
Just jump right in. What is this crazy helmet that you've got? It looks like a fishbowl. This looks like something that like someone in 1952 put in a cartoon and imagined the Jetsons wearing. This is amazing. Tell me about your Jetsons helmet, please.
I was going to say the Jetsons came early this
I
year.
know, right?
Yes.
So this is a product called the Covetizer. All
Is
right.
that actually the name of it?
It is.
That is the name of it. You can go to Covetizer. I think it's .org, and yeah, we can plug it in the video.
We'll drop a link in the description.
But here's how my life works, guys. As a little nutshell. Yeah. How did that happen? How do I have that on my head? Well, a friend of mine who is a fellow tech journalist and just journalist in general from New York City. During the time of COVID, she pivoted from covering events to more like news and stuff. And she posted a picture of someone wearing this helmet on the street somewhere. And I commented on it and said, is there an MSRP? Half joking.
What does that mean? MSRP?
The manufacturer's suggested retail price. Did I get that?
Yes.
Wow, did I get that off the bat?
Yes, you did.
Screw you, man, for making me rattle off that acronym.
Hey, you knew we were going to put you on the spot
What's
today.
an MSRP?
Well done.
Oh, yeah.
Well
there
done.
you go. Now I am a journalist. Now you know. But I think, so it's, so I was like, what's the MSRP? And then the owner of the company responded to my comment.
Wow. That's okay.
and
They're
s-
checking their
Yeah. And so when
profile.
so when that happened, I DM'd them and was just like, hey,
Slide into
I'm
those
like,
DMs.
yeah, I'm a
Hey.
tech journalist who writes for a few different magazines, and I'd love to cover this if you happen to have a spare unit. And he did. This guy Haas, he built these in Midtown.
They're New York
himself.
based.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I went and picked this up just yesterday,
Wow.
or 2 days
ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
2 days ago.
So is
yeah.
this like a demo unit then? It's not like a full production unit?
It's very much I would say in prototype mode, and they're encouraging early adopters to give feedback on it. But it's essentially, I mean, at the end of the day, for anybody who's listening here, just imagine an invisible construction helmet that is
walked in
inside
here-
a bubble.
Hang on. TJ walked in here wearing an astronaut's helmet. Like everybody's seen astronauts with a bubble on their head, like a plastic bubble, right? He walked in here with a plastic
specifically
bubble.
like the Jetsons style, where it's like the
Exactly.
clear bubble where you like practically don't see it except for the outline.
But this thing
Right.
isn't just a bubble on your head. It's got valves. It's got fans. It's got a it's got a freaking
guys-
hard hat on the inside.
Guys, here's the thing. Nobody told you this about the Jetsons. They weren't wearing those hats because of space. That was to protect them from the
Right.
pandemic that happened in the future.
it happened.
That's the reason.
Honestly, weren't the Jetsons set in like 2020 or some shit?
Something like that.
Probably,
Yeah,
right.
nobody said why they're wearing the helmets, bro.
was like since, like, the
they have flying
2000s.
yeah, they have flying cars.
I love it.
A robot made and helmets. And I got all three of those, by the way.
What's your take on this bubble helmet so far?
So-
can you give us a rundown? Like, what's the 60-second
So here's
review?
here's my 60-second review. All right, time me.
Yeah.
So this thing is made out of all pre-existing technology right now. So this is basically here. I'll hold this up for the camera for the context of it here. So this is
This thing is amazing.
I have to
Keep it a little higher.
I'm gonna unplug
Amazing.
it. I'm gonna unplug it here. So basically, what
What is the
you've
plug
got,
for? What does it need to plug in for?
the battery.
That's a battery pack that's separate from the helmet. Why couldn't they house it on the helmet?
This is a prototype,
Got you.
right? So I mean, it could be housed in the helmet, but then it's just make it heavier. So this is a polycarbonate globe that inside is just a crystal clear construction helmet. So that's pre-existing.
Right.
Like that's meant to fit on your head,
Right.
be customized to it, and protect your head.
And that's what makes it comfortable, and that's what holds it on your head.
Right.
Got
So
it.
that's what's sitting on there. This is
So
basically
it's not resting on your shoulders; it's resting on your head.
it's resting on your head.
Oh, that's
that's
so
why it can
interesting.
move around.
Oh, so when
right?
your head moves, it follows. That's so
Right.
cool.
Right.
So you've got these are two standard filters, the N95s.
Right.
Yeah.
So all the air coming into it is being filtered.
So you can take these off. I'll just kind of demonstrate. These come off.
Right.
And that can just put back on.
So these guys are just 3D printing a whole bunch of connectors.
And so this is a 3D printed housing,
right,
for the fan.
Which is so cool.
What is the purpose of the fan?
Well, because you're creating an exhaust system. Because what happens is when you put this on, this is basically a neck gaiter. And so in order for these filters to work properly, you need to create a semi seal inside the globe.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not pulling air up through your neck.
Right. So you're basically just pulling a neck gaiter. So that's like tight but not uncomfortable around your neck. These are two filters that already exist, and this exhaust fan is pulling the air out there. So you constantly have clean. So that would be so as soon as I wear this without that on, it starts to fog up.
Yep.
And you'd get carbon monoxide. You wouldn't have any fresh air. It would be, so the whole point is...
Oh, because you'd just be recirculating your own air constantly. Right. So you need the air flow.
Right.
And so that's the thing, is it like to have that sort of environment of clean air, you have to have air circulation.
So what's your take on this? Are people going to use this?
Here's my take. So this is already getting purchased.
By who?
By people I like
early adopters.
So I was going to say,
but like people like you and I, like are
so
average Joes walking around in the street with this?
There are some people, but this is I envision to be most useful for government and healthcare workers that are in situations where they don't need a full hazmat suit, but need extra protection to help the people that they're with. For example, I have a friend who's Border Patrol. And he's been getting shuffled back and forth between Canada and the Mexican border over the last year for reasons you guys have probably heard of.
Yeah.
And there's a lot. And I was talking to him the other night about all the separated families down there.
So you see people like Border Patrol and like government agencies wearing these things. You don't see this as being a prototype for everyday average people for like post COVID worlds. Are people going to be walking around with bubble helmets on? Is that like the future that we're looking at here?
Well, let's remember that this is prototype. So,
no, I know, but like, is this even like a serious, like, are we talking masks for another 10 years? Like, are people really in 10 years going, or even in 2 years, going to still be worried about viruses in the same way that we are right now?
So yeah, like a little bit of futurism here. What I kind of envision is like right now, I feel like this is the most useful for like healthcare and educators who are in positions that aren't necessarily the safest for them to be in, especially with the different variants that are popping up. So I can see there being an immediate use in this current iteration, and they are selling these. These are, I think they're selling them for $300.
You can buy it at Covetizer.org.
Yep, you can buy it right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so we can throw a link up in there, and but if you go to their website, they do mention I am sure that I caught a spot that they really appreciate feedback from early adopters, and so where I envision our future going. Well, all right, I was chatting with you guys a little about this when I walked in. The other night, I walked around the park in 6-degree weather in my testing out some cold.
We're talking Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Fahrenheit. So
where were you where it was 6 degrees?
Prospect Park South.
It was
Prospect Park.
When?
That was wind chill. So it was about 20 degrees.
I must have been in this studio because I have not experienced that.
Yeah. No, it was. So I took this as an opportunity, knowing it was that cold. I took that as an opportunity to test out some of the new cold weather gear that I had just gotten. So I walked around for 2.5 hours in Prospect Park, totally comfortable. Nice. The only thing that was visible was between my nose and my forehead. And so you add this globe, and I've basically got a spacesuit or a wetsuit, essentially. I mean,
but that works when it's cold. What when it's hot out?
So here's the thing: we have technology available to us right now that can do both. And there's synthetics and polymers and different kinds of materials and fabrics. Like Alicia, you could probably speak to this more than me, but like the way that fabrics have been able to be structured on a nano level, like nano textiling. That sort of, so being able to bring that cloth together. Like I have a friend who just climbed a mountain in negative 25-degree wind chill.
Yeah, that's fucking insane.
And so whatever he was wearing, like,
saved his fucking life.
So
exactly.
I mean, I get that we have the ability to create this tech. My favorite quote from Elon Musk is that really great engineers are really good at solving problems that don't need to be solved. They need to be guided in the right direction. And that's what takes somebody who can kind of like oversee and see bigger picture. do we need this as a society? Are we talking about a post-COVID world where people are walking around or finding a need for a globe on their head to protect them from the breath of the people around them? Is that something that's going to continue to the point where people are willing to slap one of these on their head and walk around with it?
So the short answer to your question is yes, this is going to continue because this pandemic is going to continue in different ways. And it's not just about the safety of you being separated with by my breath. It's also about, at this point, everything's been going on long enough where the reason that this sort of thing is viable at all is because we all have a thirst for socialization that cannot be satisfied when you sit alone in your apartment.
Right.
Now, this is more important for people who live in major metropolitan areas. If you live somewhere where my family is right now, their lifestyle overall has not changed a lot.
Right.
They own
They're already isolated.
Right. They own. If you're a homeowner, then if you're a property owner, then your life may or may not have changed a lot as far as your home life.
Right.
But when I walk outside my door, as soon as I walk outside my door, there's no way for me to fact check the germs that I encounter or who touched that handle, who touched this or that.
But you don't think the vaccine's going to come in and everybody's going to get vaccinated and things are going to be over and we're going to go back to normal life?
So enough time has passed now that I think that we as a planet in first world countries specifically, and especially in New York, and especially in America, where we're already starting to push Spanish flu numbers now for the total deaths. I think that we're going to be a lot more vigilant about our personal space and our personal health. Like you'll notice, like bowing, you know, for the Japanese, Chinese, they had it right all along. You're not touching anybody.
Nope.
You know, not exchanging any like all that. So bowing, what an excellent form of respect, recognition, and right. So that's a cultural thing. Now, if we want to do all the crazy stuff that Americans love to do, we're going to need a little protection. And so I can envision. So I already
people don't even want to wear a mask though. Like wearing a globe on your head.
So all right. So I thought that too when I was thinking about getting your kid to wear a mask at the beginning of all this nonsense. I see kids walking around all the time, aren't tugging at their masks. They've already been conditioned to it.
No, it's so true.
They've already been conditioned to it. My niece and nephew, when I went and visited to announce my engagement, I swung by home after getting engaged on the top of a mountain, guys. A mountain.
That was great.
And my niece complimented my mask when I was home. She's like, I like your mask. Here's mine.
It's become a fashion.
Yeah.
And that's what should have happened right away when this all hit, was like, everybody wear a mask and let's figure this out all together.
Yeah.
And but because we're at where we are now, we can see, so this is the first time that one singular virus has gotten the chance, I think, to taste test the entire human species on the entire planet in less than a year.
Right.
And I had this thought before the variants started popping up. I'm not a prophet, guys, but I know a little bit about how science works. And I literally was thinking about that when the variants started popping up. And so,
I mean, that's how viruses work. They always morph.
And so this is the first time that we've been able to travel.
Like we get a flu shot every year because the different variants, you're really only getting inoculized against the variants that they think are going to be the most deadly that year.
Exactly. And so this is the first time that we've been dealing with the flu for a long time. And this is the first time that another virus of a similar strain has gotten the chance to taste test the entire human species on every single continent in less than a year. And we have to catch up, and it's already starting to mutate.
Yeah,
and that's and viruses and microbes and fungi have been around on this planet a lot longer than we have, and they're very resilient. And so I think, John, where this is going is that in first world countries specifically, people are going to be a lot more vigilant about their personal health. The suit that I was wearing outside, walking around in Prospect Park, you add a helmet, and now I'm totally safe no matter what I do. So if you shrink that down to the size of my head, and it's somehow in some sort of nanomaterial that allows me to, so the eye contact thing is important, you know, ironically, because you're wearing the sunglasses and they'll make eye contact with you all night. But with this, that's one of the reasons that this is so important, is something like this, because after all this time where people are stuck indoors, there's a hunger for socialization. Like I'm excited to talk to you guys because I don't get to do this very often.
I haven't seen you in forever.
You know, and now all the planning that has to go into it. Like we had to go take our rapid tests this morning, and make sure that then we're vigilant about all of our actions after that. That's going to, for mindful people and for the people that are going to move the planet into the future, for the people that move this planet into the future. Yes.
Thanks for checking out this clip from our show.
To watch more clips or full episodes, click on our profile below.
If you want to stay up to date on all of our new episodes and videos, click subscribe.
And if you have any ideas for future guests or topics that you would like to see us cover on the show,
leave us a message in the comments or connect with us on any of our social media channels at Funtime Program
or on our website at funtimeprogram.com.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.